Welcome to section 9.2 part 2. So this video is more on standard deviation. So in the previous video for this section, we talked about finding the standard deviation of a group of data. So in this video, we're going to be talking about finding standard deviation for a grouped frequency distribution. So remember, the big thing about a group frequency distribution is instead of looking at individual data values, we look at them in intervals. So to find this standard deviation, we have a formula that we use, and that formula is sigma equals the square root of the sum of all the frequencies times x squared minus the number of values times x bar squared over all the numbers of values minus 1 and minus 1. Now again, the big thing here is this x bar. So remember, to calculate x bar for a grouped frequency distribution, we find the sum of all the frequencies times x divided by the number of values. Okay, so what I would do here is, first of all, I would calculate x. Now remember that x and a group frequency distribution is the midpoint of each interval. So the fastest way to find the midpoint would be to add these two numbers and divide by 2. So when I add 0 and 4 together and divide by 2, we get 2, 7, 12, 17, 22, 27, 32. So then I'm going to square each of these. So we have 4, 49, 144, 289, 484, 729, and 1024. Now the frequencies came from the previous example that we did, so that's 3, 4, 6, 8, 5, 3, 1. 8, 5, 3, 1. Okay. So now when I do f times x, we end up with 6, 28, 72, 17 times 8 is 136, 110, 81, and 32. Then last but not least, when I do f times x squared, we end up with 12, 196, 864, 2,312, 2,420, 2,187, and 1,024. So then the next step would be to find the total of the x column, the f times x column, and the f times x squared column. Or excuse me, not the x column, but the f column. Made a mistake there. This should be the f column. So I'm going to find those three totals, not x. Okay. So the total of the f column is 30. This is our n. The total of the f of x column is 435, I believe. Let me double check. So I'm adding these together. 465. Okay. And then the total of the last column is 9,015. So the first thing I would do is here, I would calculate x bar. So that would be 465 divided by 30. Therefore, x bar is equal to 15.5. Now I have everything to find the standard deviation. So sigma equals the square root of 9,015 minus 30 times 15.5 squared divided by 30 minus 1. So we end up with the square root of 9015 minus 30 times 15.5 squared, which is 240.25 divided by 29. You want to try to be as exact as possible when working with this. So if I do 9015 minus 30 times 240.25 squared, oops. Oh, we already did 240.25 squared. My fault, made a mistake there too. Got a case of the Mondays here. So 9015 minus 30 times 240.25. We end up with 1,807.5 divided by 29. So using my calculator, we end up with approximately 7.89. So therefore, the standard deviation of this grouped frequency distribution is 7.89. All right, so that's the end of this part of the lesson. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me and we can answer via email, or we can set up a Google Meet and go over it more. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.